Sometimes the people we love the most teach us the hardest lessons. You think you know someone, their smile, their habits, their promises, until one night everything changes. This isn't a story about anger. It's about silence. And how I used it to make him regret every single lie he ever told me. Before I begin, make sure you hit subscribe and stay with me till the end, because what I'm about to share isn't just a story. It's proof that silence can be the loudest revenge of all. I still remember that night. The house was quiet, too quiet. The clock glowed 11:47 p.m., and my phone sat on the table. Screen dark, no messages. He was late again. Not stuck in traffic, late. This was the kind of late that made your stomach twist. Every sound in the house felt heavier. The ticking clock, the hum of the fridge, the creak of the floor under my feet. I waited, pretending I was fine, pretending I believed his story about extra work at the office. But deep down I already knew. When he finally walked in, the smell of another woman's perfume came with him. Faint, but sharp enough to slice through every excuse he could ever make. He smiled at me, tired eyes, soft voice, the same lines he'd used 100 times before. I nodded, said nothing, and watched him walk past me. That was the moment I decided something inside me had to change. Not in me. You see, I could have shouted. I could have demanded answers or packed my bags and left. But instead, chose silence. Because silence gives you time. Time to think, to see clearly, to let the truth unfold on its own. That night, I sat on the couch and whispered to myself. He doesn't even know what he started. The next morning, he kissed my forehead like nothing had happened. He said he'd be home early, that we should go out to dinner. And I smiled, because now I had a plan forming quietly inside me. If he could lie so easily, I could act just as calmly. I started to notice the small things. His messages, the hours he was busy. The way he guarded his phone like it held his soul. Every clue he dropped, I caught it. Every secret he tried to hide, I stored it away. Days passed, then weeks. And with each one, I grew quieter, colder, stronger. He thought my silence meant weakness. But in reality, it was the sound of me preparing for his downfall. People think revenge means shouting, breaking, screaming. But the real kind, the kind that lasts, it's built in silence. It's the kind that makes the other person realize what they've lost without you saying a single word. The days turned into patterns. His phone face down, late-night meetings. And the sudden smell of perfume that wasn't mine. I stopped asking where he was going. I stopped waiting for him to come home. I just watched. I let him believe that I was blind. That I was the same trusting woman who once waited by the door with dinner ready and hope in her eyes. He didn't notice how I started keeping track, not just of his lies, but of every small detail that could one day destroy his perfect little world. His laughter on the phone when he thought I was asleep. The lipstick stain I saw on his shirt collar, hidden under the jacket. The sudden change in his passwords. I saw it all. I said nothing. One night I followed him. Quietly, carefully. I didn't need to go far. Just enough to see what I had feared all along. He wasn't working late. He was with her. A woman who looked just like the one he once told me not to worry about. The way he touched her, smiled at her, it made my heart freeze. But I didn't cry. Not anymore. Something inside me broke that night. But in a strange way, it set me free. When I came home, I stood in front of the mirror. My face looked different. There was no sadness left. Only calm determination. I whispered, "You've made your choice. Now it's my turn." From that day, I started preparing. Not to destroy him with anger, but with consequences. I learned everything about his business, his accounts, his secrets. Things even he didn't think I knew. I didn't touch a thing. I just watched, collected, and waited. Because timing is everything in silence. He still thought I was the same soft woman who forgave too easily. He'd walk around, smile, hold my hand in public, while in private, he slowly drifted away. But I wasn't chasing anymore. I was documenting everything. Every lie, every transaction, every message. Weeks later, I found the final proof I needed. A photo sent by mistake. A single picture that confirmed it all. He'd forgotten to delete it from the cloud, and when I saw it, something inside me went completely still. No anger, no tears, just silence again. That evening I cooked dinner like usual. I laughed when he told me his stories, nodded when he lied, smiled when he looked into my eyes and said he loved me. He didn't know that by the time he finished eating, his world was already falling apart quietly behind the scenes. I had sent copies of everything. His affair, his fake contracts, his lies, to the people who trusted him the most. Friends, business partners, even family. No threats, no message, no drama. Just truth wrapped in silence. When it all came crashing down, he couldn't even blame me. I never shouted, never exposed him directly. I just stepped back and watched as the same silence he gave me started to choke him instead. He came home that night, pale and broken. His phone wouldn't stop ringing. He tried to speak, but I just looked at him, the same way he once looked through me. I didn't say a word. I just walked away. And for the first time, he realized what silence really feels like. The next morning, everything was different. His world had cracked open overnight. His business partners had turned on him. His phone kept buzzing with calls he didn't want to answer. The lies he built so carefully were finally collapsing, one by one. I watched him from across the room. He sat on the edge of the bed, shoulders heavy, face pale, his eyes empty. For years, I had seen that same face wearing fake confidence, fake charm, fake love. But today, there was nothing left to fake. He finally knew what it felt like to lose everything. Slowly, silently, painfully. He looked at me, his voice trembling. "Did you do this?" And I just smiled. Not out of pride. Not out of hate. Just peace. Because for the first time, I didn't need to prove anything. He already knew. Silence had spoken louder than any words ever could. For weeks, he tried to fix things. Tried to apologize, to explain, to make promises that meant nothing anymore. But I had already moved on. Not to another person, but to another version of myself. One who no longer waited for love that hurt. One who no longer begged for honesty that never existed. I started living again, slowly, quietly. Morning coffee tasted different. The house felt lighter. The silence that once hurt me now healed me. I stopped checking the door for him. I stopped looking at my phone for messages that never came. I stopped being the woman who needed his attention to feel seen. One evening he came by. Desperate, lost, holding a bouquet of flowers like they could erase the past. He stood there, eyes full of regret, words trembling on his lips. I let him speak. Every "I'm sorry." Every "I didn't mean to hurt you." Every "I still love you." I listened. And when he finished, I simply said, "You taught me that silence can be the loudest answer." Then I closed the door. Slowly, peacefully. He stood there for a while, I could tell. Maybe hoping I'd open it again. But I didn't. Because that chapter was already closed. He had been punished. Not by anger, not by revenge, but by the realization that he lost the one person who would have loved him endlessly. 11:46 a.m., November 6, 2025. Jam brother. Musical note. Music swells. Soft piano, hint of triumph. 11:46 a.m., November 6, 2025. Jam brother. Now, when people ask me how I moved on, I tell them this. Sometimes you don't need to shout, fight, or prove anything. You just need to walk away. And let the silence do what words never can. Because silence, it's not weakness. It's power. It's the calm after the storm. It's the sound of self-respect. And that was my revenge. Now, when people ask me how I moved on, I tell them this. Sometimes you don't need to shout, fight, or prove anything. You just need to walk away. And let the silence do what words never can. Because silence, it's not weakness. It's power. It's the calm after the storm. It's the sound of self-respect. And that was my revenge.